Good morning. You are welcome again to another session of our English classroom. Hope you are doing well. Last class we were studying the nightingale and the rose, and now we are at the almost the end of the part, end of the story. So you may please take turn over to page number 144. Please take page number 144. And this is the 32nd part of our English classroom. Okay, look, have you seen? Yes, the paragraph begins with the look. Look, cried the tree. So you know the story that the nightingale was trying to give a beautiful red rose to the student who loves his lover very much. So this is the last part of the story. Look, cried the tree. That rose is finished now. So the tree says that that means with the lifeblood sacrificing his life, the nightingale gave birth to a beautiful red rose. So the tree says that the rose is finished now. Now the rose is finished. Rose is complete. But the nightingale made no answer. But nightingale cannot give an answer. Why? You know the reason? Because nightingale is no more now. It is no more alive because she is lying dead. It is dead in the long grass with a thorn in her heart. With the thorn in her heart, the thorn of the rose, thorn of the rose, mull, into her heart. So thus she had prepared or she had made a flower sacrificing her own life, the nightingale's life. And at noon, the student opened his window and looked out. So almost at the moon, at noon, almost in the noon time, ഉച്ചയായപ്പോൾ the student opened his window and looked out. When he looked out, what might he have seen? What did he see? Why, what a wonderful piece of luck! I am so lucky. Oh, there is a red rose, he cried. Here is a red rose. I have never seen any rose like it in all my life. In all my life, I didn't see such a rose. It's so beautiful, so red. And he leaned down and pecked it. So a rose was lying there beneath the rose tree on near his window. So he saw that tree, he saw that beautiful flower, and he said that it is the first one that he had ever seen. It was so beautiful and so red. Then he put on his hat and ran up to the professor's house. So, as soon as he got the flower, what did he do? He ran up to the professor's house. So, he was in love with the professor's daughter. So, she wanted to give it to that beautiful girl, and who told him that she would dance with him if he could bring a red rose. And professor's house with a rose in his hand. With a rose in his hand, he went to the professor's house, where his beloved lover, the professor's daughter, is. So he went to professor's house. There is the professor's daughter. The daughter of the professor was sitting in the doorway. So she was there in the doorway itself. That means near the door, she was sitting winding blue silk on a reel. So what was she doing? She was winding, chuttuka. She was winding blue silk, silkinde നൂല്, നീല നിറത്തിലുള്ള silk നൂല്. She was winding on a reel, on a wheel, ഒരു ചക്രത്തില്. She was winding it, and her little dog was lying at her feet. And there was a dog, it was also lying near her feet. So that was what is happening. So the boy went to the professor's house, and professor's daughter was sitting in front of the house near the near the door, and there was a dog who was lying near her, and she was winding blue silk on a wheel. You said that you would dance with me if I brought you a red rose. Do you remember that? Yes, you said to me. And who said? The student said, cried the student. The boy said, you said to me, if I bring you a red rose, you will dance with me. Cried, here is the reddest rose in all the world. You look, this is the reddest rose. That's the most color, red color. The reddest rose in all the world, reddest rose in all the world. You will wear it tonight next to your heart. So you will wear it next to your heart, next near your heart. That means on the left side of your chest. That means near your reddest rose in all world. You will wear it. You can put it. You will wear it tonight, this night, next to your heart, and we will dance together. And we will dance together. Very good. So the student was very very happy, the boy, because he got the red rose, because he was longing, he was wishing to get a red rose only to dance with his lover, the professor's daughter. The girl frowned. But the girl frowned means നെറ്റി ചുളിക്കുക. That means something that will not, എന്തെങ്കിലും നമ്മളോട് ഒരു കാര്യം പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അതിപ്പോ something like that. So frowned. I am afraid I will not go with my dress. I will not, it will not go with my dress. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. That means, sorry, it will not go with my dress. It is not suitable to the color of my dress. ഇന്ന് രാത്രി ഞാൻ ഡാൻസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, പക്ഷേ ഡാൻസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഇടാൻ പോകുന്ന വസ്ത്രവുമായിട്ട് ഇത് യോജിക്കാത്ത കളറാണ്. ഇറ്റ് ഡസൻറ്റ് മാച്ച്. ഇറ്റ് വിൽ നോട്ട് ഗോ മീൻസ് ഇറ്റ് ഡസൻറ്റ് മാച്ച് വിത്ത് മൈ ഡ്രസ്, ഷീ ആൻസേർഡ്. ആൻഡ് ബിസൈഡ്സ്, മോറോവർ, the Chamberlain's nephew has sent me some real jewels. Chamberlain's nephew, Chamberlain's nephew has sent me some real jewels. Chamberlain Maruman, what happened? He sent me some red jewels. നിന്നെ പോലെ വെറും എന്തല്ല, ഒരു റോസ് ഫ്ലവർ അല്ല, റിയൽ ജുവൽസ് ആണ് അവൻ കൊടുത്തയച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. And everybody knows that jewels cost far more than flowers. So it is more than valuable. ഈ ഒരു പുഷ്പത്തെക്കാൾ വില കൂടിയതല്ലേ രത്നങ്ങള്. അവൻ കൊടുത്തത് അതാണ്. So how can I say no to him? So that means, so what happens now? The girl has offered this man or this student to bring that she would dance if he could bring a red rose, but she got another great offer. So clear ആയിട്ടാണ് തേച്ചു. In your language, തേക്കുക എന്നറിയില്ലേ? Yes, that was what happened. Chamberlain's nephew, she got another man, another boy, and he was much richer than this student, and he gave him much costlier or much valuable present. That means costlier, valuable എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല, because നമുക്ക് ഈ റെഡ് റോസിന്റെ വാല്യൂ കണക്കാക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല, because a nightingale has made such a beautiful red rose by sacrificing her own life. So it is valuable than any other jewels. So it is costlier. വില ഒരുപക്ഷെ ഈ പനനീറിനേക്കാൾ കൂടുതൽ വിലയുള്ളതായിരിക്കാം ഈ jewels. So when she got jewels, or that means when she found a richer man than the student, she shifted her love to this new Chamberlain's nephew. That was what happened. So a clear story of tape, isn't it? Yes. Well, upon my word, you are very ungrateful. Well, upon my words, you are very ungrateful. നീ നന്ദി കെട്ടവളാണ്, said the student angrily, and he threw the rose. He threw the rose, threw the rose in the street where it fell into the gutter. There was a small gutter, ഒരു ചാലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, and it fell into that gutter, and a cart wheel went over it. A cart wheel, the wheel of a vehicle, wheel of a cart, ഒരു വണ്ടിച്ചക്രം rolled over it. A cart wheel went over it. So what happened? What happened now? The nightingale, who thought the student's love was very precious and real love, so as a result, when the student was earnestly wished for a red rose, and there was no red rose in the whole garden, the nightingale searched for a red rose, and it cannot find, and he flew rose tree after rose tree. Then at last he reached in a rose tree, and the third rose tree, and it was ready to give a rose, but the problem was that it's winter, it does not have buds or blossoms. So he said that rose tree said that if you could sacrifice your life, that means if you sing the whole night and the thorn pushed to its heart, to nightingale's heart, she can produce, or the tree or the plant can produce a red rose. As a result, it tried, and the nightingale sacrificing her life, it made a red rose for the boy. But unfortunately, the girl, the professor's daughter, she cheated the boy, and she said, I cannot accept your gift because Chamberlain's nephew was already offered me red jewels, real jewels, not flowers. You know, real jewel is costlier than the silly flower. According to her, that flower is very silly, but we know how how the student got, or what was the tragedy behind that red rose. We know that. What a silly thing love is. What a silly thing love is. You must also understand that. What a silly thing love is. ഈ ഈ കാണിക്കുന്ന ഈ സ്നേഹം, പ്രേമം, what a silly thing. എന്തൊരു നിസ്സാരമായിട്ടാണ് അവളത്, said the student, and he walked away. And that boy walked away, and he was thinking about that girl for a long time. She wanted to have the love from this girl, but and at last, what happened? Finally, that girl cheated him, and she said no to his love. So that was the story of the nightingale and the rose. So I hope you have enjoyed the story, and let us look at some of the activities which are given in your textbook. So there are some questions also. Hope you have already written 11 question and answers. So we have 3 more questions remaining there. So you write the questions and answers in your notebook. Okay, what is the red rose compared to? എന്തിനോടാണ് റെഡ് റോസിനെ, ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നമ്പർ 12, താരതമ്യം ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്? So the red rose is compared to, you may read in the textbook, rising sun, Udaya Suryanod. So that's the answer. Then describe the last moments of the nightingale. Last moments of the nightingale. You know that on page number 144, at the beginning, the third paragraph. But the nightingale's voice grew fainter. Have you seen? Fainter, and her little wings began to beat, and a film came over his eyes. Fainter and fainter grew her song, and she felt something choking her in her throat. So that was the description given by the author. The end of the last moment of the nightingale, or the death moment of the nightingale, is described there. So you may look and write the answer there in your notebook. And the last question, why didn't the professor's daughter accept the red rose? Why she cannot accept the gift? The boy has brought a very beautiful flower, but she didn't accept it. The boy brought a beautiful red rose, but she didn't accept it. Why? Because she had already committed to another man. That was Chamberlain's nephew. He is much more richer, and he had given her much more costlier gifts. It was a real jewels. That's why she refused. So she thinks that She thinks the wealth and possessions were more valuable than love. She thinks that wealth and possessions, wealth and possessions, sambathana, wealth is more precious. She thinks that it is more precious, more valuable than the love. Actually, the real love was that of the student, but when she got a little more wealth or found another rich man, she went after him. She went after him. That was what happened. So that is a very good story, and which gives a good moral for you and for you to think. So next page, page number 145. Let us look some of the activities there. Read the story and answer the questions. Pick a tick mark. Just give a tick mark in your textbook. So what is the color of the rose? That students, you know that's red. What does Nightingale admire about the student? Why does the Nightingale admire about the student? ഈ കുട്ടിയെ ഒരുപാട് ബഹുമാനിക്കാൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അഡ്മയർ ചെയ്യാൻ ആരാധിക്കാൻ കാരണം എന്താ നൈറ്റിംഗേൽ? ഹിസ് എ ഗുഡ് സിംഗർ, പാട്ടുകാരനായതുകൊണ്ടാണോ? ഹി വാല്യൂസ് ലവ് മോർ ദാൻ എവറിത്തിങ് എൽസ്, മറ്റെന്തിനേക്കാളും സ്നേഹത്തിന് അവൻ വില കൽപ്പിക്കുന്നത് കൊണ്ടാണോ? ഹി ലൈക്സ് ബേർഡ്സ്, പക്ഷികളെ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്നത് കൊണ്ടാണോ? ഹി വിയേഴ്സ് റിയലി നൈസ് ക്ലോത്ത്സ്, നല്ല മനോഹരമായ വസ്ത്രം ധരിക്കുന്നത് കൊണ്ടാണോ? So you know the answer. What was the answer? What is the answer? Second one. He loves. So you may just put a tick mark. So in this way, you read the remaining questions from 3 to 6 and you just tick mark the correct answer there using a pencil. If there is any mistake, so it's better to use a pencil. That's all for that activity. And let us look to the next activity. Number 2, you look very end. The some is you have read the story The Nightingale and the Rose, haven't you? You have already read it. Now read the story once again. Complete the story house. So there is a story house. That means you have to complete story house. So story house, what are the story house settings? You can see settings, characters, climax, events, final events. So these are the things you have to, and I think you can do that. Let us look. I will help you. You just write after the class. Okay. Setting, you know what is a garden? It's already written that ഗാർഡനിലാണ് ഈ സംഭവങ്ങൾ നടക്കുന്നത്. ഇനി വേറെ എവിടെയൊക്കെ നടക്കുന്നത്? കഥയുടെ ബാക്കി ഭാഗങ്ങൾ. Towards it begins in the garden. Then students house നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. Then oak tree with a nightingale. ഒരു നൈറ്റിംഗേൽ ഒക്കെ ഉള്ള ഓക്ക് ട്രീ ആണ് നടക്കുന്നത്. Then at the end, കഥയുടെ അവസാനം എവിടെ വെച്ചായിരുന്നു അവസാനിക്കുന്നത്? പ്രൊഫസേഴ്സ് ഹൗസ്. So these are the places. Settings means places. നടക്കുന്ന സംഭവ സ്ഥലം, അതാണ് സെറ്റിംഗ്സ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. Then characters. Characters, we know that Nightingale is the main character. Then student നമുക്കറിയാം. Then who are the other characters? Nightingale and the student. Then professor's daughter is also another important character. So 3 characters are there. Again, പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ റെഡ് റോസ് ഒരു ക്യാരക്ടറാണ് ഇതിൽ. കാരണം ബിക്കോസ് റെഡ് റോസ് അതിൽ സംസാരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. റോസ് ട്രീ, റെഡ് റോസ് അല്ല, റോസ് ട്രീ അല്ലേ? There are 3 rose trees are there. Then a lizard was coming there. So we can say അവരെയും കൂടെ നമുക്ക് അതിനകത്ത് ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തി എഴുതാം. So these are the characters. Then what is the climax? Climax, what happens? 2 things are happening. Red Rose-ന്റെ പിറവി, Red Rose ഉണ്ടാകുന്നതോടുകൂടി Nightingale is dead. That was a major event. Nightingale died. So we can say that was a climax. Another climax, the last climax എന്താണ്? The girl refused the love of the student. അതൊരു ഇൻസിഡന്റ് ആയിരുന്നു. So yes. So you may write those 2 incidents. Now ഇനി what are the other important events? Important events എന്തൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു? The student, young student loves a girl. He is in love with a girl. That is a professor's daughter. He loves professor's daughter. And another event, she asked for a red rose. കഥയുടെ തുടക്കം മുതലുള്ള സംഭവങ്ങളാണ്. She asked for a red rose, and the boy became very, very, very sad because very, very unhappy, and he began to weep. He began to cry. Why he didn't get a red rose? That is a third event, we can say. Another incident, the Nightingale. So that is the ഇനിയാണ് Nightingale രംഗപ്പുറം. Nightingale was very unhappy, was very sorry because she cannot find a red rose. Actually, she was this Nightingale was singing always. അല്ലേ? ഈ പ്രേമിക്കുന്നവർക്കൊക്കെ വേണ്ടി പാട്ടുപാടുന്ന ഒരു പക്ഷിയാണ് Nightingale. Nightingale could not see a red rose. So Nightingale feels sympathy. Nightingale feels sympathy So that is another incident. Then what did Nightingale do? Nightingale approached a lot of every rose tree and at last searching for its life mates rose. So these are the events. Let us write. ഇനി ഫൈനൽ ഇവന്റ്സ് എന്നൊരു ടോപ്പിക് ഉണ്ടായതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ബാക്കി ഭാഗം ഫൈനൽ ഇവന്റ്സിൽ ദാറ്റ് വാസ് ദ അല്ലേ സോ ഹി ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ലെറ്റ് us say that Nightingale made a rose by sacrificing her life. So that is the final events in the പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട Nightingale sacrificed its life for a red rose and she created a red rose by sacrificing her own life by pushing thorn to her heart and bleeding her lifeblood over the tree, over the rose tree. It created a red rose. That is the final event. Then the last event that we have already climaxed, we have written, that was what happened. So we can say that the girl refused the love of the student, her love towards the ഇനി എനിക്ക് പ്രേമിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല എന്ന് അവൾ പറഞ്ഞു. അവളുടെ പ്രേമം അവിടെ വെച്ച് തേച്ച് സുന്ദരമായി തേച്ച് ഒട്ടിച്ചു വിട്ടു. That was what happened. So these are the even this is the story house. I think you can complete it, so you may do it by yourself. And for this day let us stop here, and next day we will begin with the next activity. Hope you are safe at your home. So do your activities today itself and send me the answers before 6 p.m. today. Thank you. Have a nice day. We will see you on our next class.